Hey guys, this is Diana Ballard, and welcome to the Mom Training Podcast, where we discuss the skills and strategies to create possibilities in motherhood and make it more fun, efficient, organized, and peaceful. You can find more information or connect with me online at dianaballard.com or at Diana Ballard Live on social media. Ladies, welcome today. I hope you have had a great week, and in the last week or so, maybe you've sat down with your family and created more of a team and figured out who you wanted to be, created your game plan. Hope you had a good time doing that. Today we're going to focus on raising up hard workers. Now, this is something that I feel is really struggling in society right now. There's a lot of entitlement. There's a lot of people that don't know how to work. And, I've seen, my parents own a business. I've seen what it's like when someone has not been taught how to work and how to be a hard worker, how to be dedicated to what they're doing, or loyal to a company, or really don't know how to, put themselves into something and really be a part of something cool. So today we're going to talk about raising up hard workers in our family. Now, first I'm going to say, maybe you were one of those people who weren't really taught how to work. You're like, Diana, what are you talking about? I work all the time. Now, I'm not trying to throw fists. I'm just saying, maybe you feel like your work ethic could be better. And a lot of that work ethic is taught in the home, or should be taught in the home. If you think that work ethic is being taught in schools, if you think work ethic is being taught at your church, if you think work ethic is being taught with your kids' friends, I'm sorry to break it to you, but in the home is where they need to be learning it, because it's not really being taught other places. Media teaches entitlement. Media teaches laziness. There's not a lot of places in the world that are going to push your children to become the hard workers that they need to be, to hold jobs the rest of their life, to provide for their families or themselves. In the home is the best place for these kids to be raised up as hard workers. And it is seriously something so important. These next episodes that we've been focusing on, raising up a team, raising up hard workers, and there's more to come, are really focusing on things that we can be passionate about and that are really important to build self-esteem, to set up these kids for success, so that they're not scrambling all over the place or struggling with confidence, or, life can be a lot easier for them if they're taught certain things in the home. And that really is the breeding ground for creating a successful human. Now, if you didn't get all of that growing up, you know what? That's the past. And right now is your opportunity to do something different than maybe what you've experienced before. So let's talk today about how to raise up our kids to be hard workers. Now again, raising these kids up to be hard workers is hard work for us to be able to train them up. But at the same time, it also makes family life so much easier. It also makes teamwork so much better. For when kids help, when husbands help, and moms help, the house is not as much of a monster. I mean, get real. The house can be a monster. Cleaning the house is probably one of the most ridiculous things I've ever done in my entire life, having a family, because it just is a vomiting house monster, and it is rough. And it would be even rougher if I was the only one doing it. But no, everyone is involved in helping with the dishes and helping clean up their messes, putting things away, folding the laundry. I mean, it's not just me, and it shouldn't be just mom. Everyone needs to learn how to work. And that's what you do in a home. And in setting them up for success in the future is teaching them that that's what we do in the home. So when they go off to their own families, they're not the only ones doing it, or they're not sitting on the couch while someone else is doing it, right? Everyone works together as a team, as hard workers to create a family together that all of us live in, that all of us feel comfortable in this home, and all of us have invested into. And that's like one of the most important things with teaching ourselves and our kids to be hard workers is when there is investment into something, that's when it means something to somebody. It's not just like this entitlement thing of I show up in this home and everything's done for me. No, like this is my home. I am proud of being in this home because I have put in tons of work. I've put in effort, and I have since I was a little kid. Now, one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this is because my parents did a really good job of teaching us how to be hard workers. Now, I'm going to be honest, I did not like it growing up. My dad I give a lot of credit to my dad for my work ethic, because one thing that I remember having every single stinking Saturday was we would have 10 jobs every Saturday. So he would give a little index card to each of us, and we would bring it to him, and he would sit down and he would write out 10 jobs for each of us. Now, there were 4 of us kids. So like 10 jobs in one household, like, I mean, he had to stretch for some of them, right? So, and these weren't small jobs either. It would be like dust all of the baseboards in the entire house. Like not just the kitchen, not just the upstairs, no, like the upstairs and the downstairs, all of the baseboards in the house, clean all of the windows in the entire house, weed the entire front and backyard, mop every floor, like holy crap. Like we worked, all of us, for at least 1 to 2 hours every Saturday. And our house was so clean. And I appreciate that so much more now. I'm like, gosh, I just realized like we never, ever had clutter around my house. We never, ever had like even a dirty kitchen. Like we were in charge, we had dish duties where after dinner, we, each week it shifted. So like one week I would be the one in charge of clearing the table. The next week I'd be in charge of washing the dishes. The next week I'd be in charge of putting them in the dishwasher. And, the next week it would be my turn to, unload the dishes. And, our house was always clean. Front yard, backyard, house, inside. It wasn't just my mom. It wasn't just my dad, and it wasn't just us kids. Everybody worked Saturday morning. And once that was done, then we could have a bunch of fun, and we did. And yeah, in those times, I remember sitting out in the front yard, weeding. Like we lived in Arizona, so it wasn't like it was grass. So it wasn't like we were out mowing the grass. It was all rocks and cactuses because you don't have grass in Arizona because it just dies in the summer, right? So I remember sitting out there. It's like stinking hot outside. Like you better get your booty out there early to make sure that you're doing your jobs outside early because it gets hot. I remember sitting out there and being like, this is insane. This is insane that I am sitting here literally. And you can't just like, you have to make sure you get the root of the weed, because if you don't get the root, then it'll just grow back and you'll be weeding that son of a gun in like a couple weeks, right? So these were like serious jobs that we had. But I'll tell you what, my siblings and I have insane work ethic. Like we go into something and just get it done. And the reason why is because we were taught at home. We were taught how important work was. And as much as I didn't like it then, gosh, I'm so stinking grateful that my dad pushed for that every single week. And that not only would he push for it, but he would inspect what we did. And I am so grateful for my dad because of that. Because without him pushing me and then also holding me accountable for what I was to do, like, I don't know where I would be right now or who I would be right now. Or I enjoy work now. I enjoy doing things that take effort because of that training in my home. So I want you to think about how you are with your kids right now. Do they put a lot of effort into the house? Do they have things that they've invested in? You know, things that they're like, I cleaned that bathroom. Yeah, mom came and fixed a couple things, but I cleaned that bathroom and I'm 6 years old. Or, you know, are they helping with cooking? Are they helping with organizing things? Do they feel some responsibility in their home? Now, my kids are 4 and 2 and newborn. Obviously, the newborn just sits there and looks at me when I'm cleaning, right? But the 2-year-old sweeps the floor. Now, does he really sweep the floor? No. But he, you know, Micah, will you come sweep the floor, please? I need your help. And he, oh yeah, does he knock stuff off the counter and break things sometimes? Yeah, it's happened. But he's getting trained right from the beginning that in order to live, we all have to be invested in where we live and who we live with. You know, my 4-year-old, hey, I need you to crack open these 6 eggs into this, you know, banana bread. And do shells get in the banana bread? Yeah. Can we scoop them out? Yeah. But from the beginning, from early on, they are helping me with things. They are in charge of things. Now they can have chore charts. They can just do it because it's just part of what they do. We clean up every day. You know, you put this thing away. It's time to clean up your toys. You know, we need to be responsible for that. If we don't, it might disappear sometime because it's important. Like if it's important to you, then it needs to be put where it needs to go, right? And in including everybody in there, like, yeah, when they're little, it might be little tiny things of, could you go wipe off the table? Thank you so much. Could you go dust this? Hey, would you mind putting all the movies away that you guys took every single one of the 500 of them out? I'm just kidding. We don't have 500, but you know what I mean. So, and in starting them from very, very young to do little things that they can do. I mean, they can do things from very early on. You know, 2-year-olds, hey, can you go put all of those shoes under the table where they're supposed to go by the front door? Can you go and put this book away? Can you wipe this down? Can you go push in your chair? Can you see the room is a little messy? Let's clean it up together. And in starting them early, and in even starting them wherever they are now, you can create hard workers in your home, and it'll last them their entire life. And explaining to them, this is so important to learn. It is so important to know how to cook your food. It's important to know how to clean your house, because if you know how to cook your food, if you know how to clean your house, if you know how to take care of the things that you have, your life is going to be happy and your life is going to be a lot better than if you didn't know these things. So let's really focus on this. I know that it's not fun. I know that it really kind of sucks to have to clean up every single day, but look at how nice your room looks and look how nice your room feels when your bed is made. And, just teaching from early on. Now, does that mean our house is perfectly clean all the time? Oh man, again, the vomiting house monster. No, it's not. But it's the habits that are being started and the help that is being raised up for me too. Because I was thinking, how do people have like 1 million kids? I'm at 3 right now. We want to keep going. We want to have more kids. But I'm like, man, dude, how do people do it? And I realize it's because back in the day when they had a bunch of kids, everybody worked. Everybody had responsibility. So if your kids aren't working, it's going to get even more overwhelming the more kids you have. But the thing is, if you start training them up from very little of, we all help as a family. We're all a team. Let's work together. Then it'll make your life easier. It'll make the family flow better. And, adding in another kid is not that more big of a deal because you're you have other helpers that, at different levels, at different ages can do certain things, so really utilizing that gift that you have as a mother to train them up to have a good work ethic. Like, I cannot stress it enough how important it is for these kids to learn how to work and to learn to not be entitled. Like, if you want a snack, go get it. I mean, even my 4-year-old and 2-year-old, we have a drawer in the fridge. If you're hungry, go get a string cheese. Mommy doesn't have to do that for you every time. And it's not that I don't love helping them and doing things, but they need to learn how to be independent. They need to learn how to do things for themselves and work hard, because that is what life requires of people. If you don't work hard, your life sucks. I'm sorry, it does. Like, work sucks all the time. Family life sucks, because if you don't know how to put in the effort needed to make it successful, then it's going to be a harder life than it really needs to be. So let's step up our own work ethic to teach them how to work, and also really think about, what can I do as a mother to help them learn how to get their little booties moving and how to work as hard as they can, and also see enjoyment in that work, satisfaction and fulfillment in the work, because that really is where fulfillment comes from. When you invest into something and you feel a part of something and you're like, I did a good darn job. That is where fulfillment comes from. So really get in there and get to work and teach those kids. I know you can do it. You guys are awesome. I swear to you, it's worth it to teach your kids how to work. And you know what? It's going to be a pain in the butt. Just plan on it. I'm not saying be negative. I'm just saying don't expect it to flow like, melted chocolate. There's going to be some nuts in the chocolate. You're going to have to chew things a little bit, right? But you know what? With time and effort, you might have some, milky smooth chocolate, flowing through your family life, because, it helps. It really does. So I truly love you guys and am so proud of what you're doing with your families and how you're stepping up and really raising your standard for who you are as a mom and who you are for your family, and, really raising up that family. So thank you for joining me each week. Please share with other moms, share on social media, and we'll see you next episode on the Mom Training Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the Mom Training Podcast. If you liked what you heard, I would so appreciate a rating and review from you on any platform you listen to this on. If you have any questions or podcast ideas, you can message me on my social media at Diana Ballard Live or shoot me an email on my website. See you next week.